How to deal with the rejection? Yes, when it comes to being rejected by a woman in a romantic sense, that's what I wanted to say something about. Um, yeah, well, there are different types of rejection. I mean, I think the one that is easiest to take is just like a short-term rejection. That way, when you just approach some woman or girl, whatever, does depending on your age, of course, um, and you try to get something, to ask her out, and she says, "No, thank you, I'm not interested." That also kind of hurts, but still, yeah, I think the worst one is when you have already been introduced to the woman or a girl. Maybe you even gone out, yeah, once or twice, and then suddenly she tells you, yeah, you're not really not my type, and stuff like that. Yeah. So this is what I've also experienced, even though my experience wasn't in real life with the way, but it was online. But anyway, it's about the same thing anyway, almost. More or less. So, what things that women usually say? Sometimes they will even say that they are taken when they are not, just to get rid of you. And that is really, yeah, the worst thing you can say. At least, if you don't like me, be honest. Just tell me why. And I mean, or if you are not really interested in me in that way, alright. So, it can be several things. Maybe she doesn't find you physically attractive, not enough. Maybe she doesn't find you, maybe the way you dress puts her off, whatever. It can be something like that. Maybe she thinks you are not the right match for her because, I don't know, whatever reason. Maybe she wants somebody who is very, like, stable and maybe a little, you know, wealthier, and you don't strike her as those things. So, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So, anyways, how do you deal with that kind of rejection? It's very hard because if you have already known that woman, let's say, for some time, you've been maybe chatting with her on, on the phone, whatever, sending messages, and even, especially if you haven't met her, I think it's very, very hard because when you can meet in person, it's easier. And then it's also easier to find out. This whole process goes faster. But when it's about texting and you cannot, go out or see that person, cannot meet her because not yet, because maybe she doesn't live where you live, or maybe she doesn't feel like meeting you yet, stuff like that. So that's, of course, can be very frustrating because you like her and you just want to be, close to her and want to be with her as soon as possible. But yeah, I mean, there are also certain signs, of course. I've already watched a video about this, and I recognize those signs as true because when a woman has been very active in talking to you online, texting you, and then suddenly she just goes over to just, sending short messages to you, and, like saying stuff, yeah, sorry, but I'm really busy at work and I'm really tired these days. I don't have time. I don't feel good and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, most often it's just, an excuse. Sometimes, but it can be true as well. So this is what's very difficult to know. So how to find out also? Well, how do you find out? Yeah, what you shouldn't do, first of all, I can tell you, because I did this, is just keep on messaging her incessantly and hoping that she will start, responding again like before. No, never do that. You must wait for her to message you again. First, always. Because, first of all, if you keep messaging her always first, after she has kind of, giving you the cold shoulder and, kind of withdrawn, a little bit, she just, first of all, is think you are a pain in the ass. First of all, you cannot respect, that she has told you that, yeah, she doesn't feel like messaging right now because, whatever, reasons she has. First of all, she will find out you are a pain in the ass, you don't respect her, privacy. And second, even more dangerous for you is that she thinks you're just desperate, and then women can really take advantage of that in a bad way. So what she can do then is just, when she feels like in a good mood, she will, start texting you again and pretend like everything is all right. It was just a phase. But then again, after some time, she gets bored, of texting you. Then she will again retreat into her shell and just shut you out, say stuff like, sorry, I can't now, and and if you persist and start, like asking, "What? Why did I do something?" And she'll never tell you the truth, and then she will even can get aggressive. Also, she suddenly gets really angry, starts, starts writing stuff like, "Well, you have been really, tiresome and haven't shown any respect for." But my privacy and the way I feel. So and that can lead to just a total stop, like an abrupt stop in your communication. She can just tell you, I would appreciate if you didn't message me anymore, and we shouldn't do this anymore. Keep up this kind of, whatever whatever you want to call it, and that's really hard to take, of course. All right, yeah, a little bit depending on what type of person you are. But if you are an emotional person like me, you will take it hard. However, I've already dealt with stuff like that before, at least a couple of times in my life. And this time when it happened this year, I was able to, like, yeah, say to myself, all right, it's not easy, but you have to let it go. Just have to, you know, stop following her on the online, and that's the best thing for you. Don't continue to follow her. All right, if she has said bye bye, you no interest me no more. I mean, the worst thing you can do is just keep on following her and hoping that she will change her mind and it was just a phase, a bad misunderstanding, whatever. So yeah, so now we come to the bottom line. I mean, how do you deal with this rejection? Yeah, first of all, you gotta say to yourself, was she really as nice and as interesting as I thought? That's first thing you gotta find out. Did I really, was I really interested in her, or was it just, a need, some kind of urgent need to find, you know, find, get a girlfriend or whatever? Yeah, because many people who have been single so for a while, they kind of can also get into relationships, or they can get involved in a way with people without really being, you know, in love or anything, but they start, their mind instantly starts telling them, yeah, you are in love, but it's just, so that happens to me, that happened to me. Suddenly, it was as if I got some kind of virus, some kind of worm in my brain. I was suddenly struck with this lovesick disease. First month or so, we were texting, even communicating via the video, whatever, and everything was great. But then suddenly, I just, but I didn't feel like, yeah, I was involved, or anything else. I just thought she was a nice woman, good looking, nice to, communicate, nice to feel like, like somebody is interested, or someone like her is interested in talking to me, of course. It's always a boost to your, confidence, to your ego, whatever, also. But, yeah. Then suddenly, after about, yeah, a month and a half, I think, went. Then suddenly, that sort of almost feels like a burden. You suddenly start feeling, what's going on? Am I in love now? And it feels like, yeah, you gotta be in love. That's what how it felt to me, and I think many others also, people who don't, especially people who are not that type, that have been with very many many women, the lady killer type, the womanizer type. For them it's much easier, like, one chick says no, another one will say yes. So that's their, their model, their the way they think. And yeah, that can be very good, very positive, because, and that brings me to number two, how to get over that rejection. Exactly. Think that way. She said no, but another one will say yes. So, you know, just try and get her out. That one that said the rotten egg or whatever, apple. Try to get her out of your, head. And as I said, stop following her. If she should start texting you again, then you must be very realistic and say, and be very open, and ask her, why did you, just cool off suddenly, and you know and if she starts to, give you unclear answers, then just say, well, sorry, I cannot accept that. If you cannot give me an honest answer, goodbye. So, yeah, but very often those women will not text you, just, it's very rare that they do, really. And if she does, then maybe, maybe she has just realized that she let go a perfectly good guy. Sometimes it happens, but not that often, as I said. So yeah. So anyway, just try and don't follow it. I mean, if you have to block her, even. I mean, anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you use, whatever app, because that's the best way of just getting over that failed attempt at a relationship. Just get her out of your system completely. So yeah, I mean, you gotta just think ahead, and no matter how many rejections, yeah, it's hard if you have had several, of course, more than a couple, but still you gotta keep thinking, as positive as possible. And then if it still won't go, then you have to start thinking, well, is there something about me that is wrong? I mean, what can I do to change, to improve myself, to present, to look as a much more, whatever, presentable, much more attractive option to a woman, that isn't some sort of a freak or, like, a good looking woman, reasonably at least, and, that isn't some kind of, whatever, some kind of nymphomaniac that would just sleep with anybody, who is a male, yeah. So those you have to also be very careful of. There are women, that will go after you also, like, man eaters, but very often they are, you know, like, how do you say, people who are after something, after your money, whatever. They are hustlers in disguise. Very often those women. So yeah, as I said, you gotta look up, look straight ahead, and not down and, you know behind you. So yeah, those are my advices to you who have been rejected, and yeah, hope they will prove useful somehow. All right, so I wish you the best of luck. Take care. Bye.